welcome to the No Life Digital Tech Show. We got some stuff to talk about. We got a bunch of tech news. We're going to jump into it with what we've been watching, what we've been listening to, what we've been using. And I want to talk about Cloverfield on Netflix. I forget the exact Cloverfield name. Let me bring it up because I don't want to. Cloverfield 3, The Paradox. The Cloverfield Paradox. Ooh, it's got a 3-star on IMDb. Ooh. Or I guess a 5.7. This is like, again, on the trend of like Netflix getting movies. This is so dope. The movie wasn't very good. I watched it on a plane to LA. Unfortunately, I kind of like Cloverfield, but this one, it just suffers from like that third movie release where it's just like, what are you doing? It makes no sense. But I dig the Netflix movie model. I think theaters are in big trouble, dude. With Bright and now this. The fact that they were like, hey, Cloverfield is going to be released sometime next week. And then after the Super Bowl, they were like, hey,
no,
we're
they just said
releasing it
soon.
now.
That was actually the coolest part about that was like, okay, they just run an ad during the Super Bowl. The ad just says coming soon. And then 20 minutes after that, we're like, oh yeah, what we meant by soon was immediately after the Super Bowl.
I didn't know it was a Netflix only thing. I saw the trailer. I'm like, yo, a new Cloverfield movie's coming to theaters. And then I saw Netflix. I was like, what?
Yeah, man.
Yo, I can watch that now.
No, yeah, like that marketing idea was brilliant. Like that was genius, I think, because that got me hyped. I liked the first Cloverfield a lot.
Yeah.
But that got me hyped.
And Cloverfield Lane was really good.
Yeah, it was. But this one was a little bit weird.
I mean, they're all kind of weird.
I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's definitely worth a watch. If you like Cloverfield, definitely watch it because it's on Netflix, dude. You just fucking turn it on and it's on, and you're watching a brand new movie. This is why go to theaters anymore? They're done. They're old tech. Get out of here. Turn them into the old drive-ins. Actually, just get rid of regular movie theaters and just keep the drive-ins. That's it.
I'm down for that. I like the
drive-ins are still a little bit niche, you know. At least there's like it's a thing you do.
It's nostalgia,
you know.
It's an experience.
No one wants to go to the movies anymore. And
that's why they're all getting bars. Like that's what they have to do. That's why they're all getting bars. Like the best movie theater I've been to was in Lansing. They had a bar and a full grill. Like it was a full place where they would deliver you food that they would make.
Yeah, that was one that we did. We went to in Florida. It was like that, or have like a huge arcade attached to it. Because I do like the movie theater arcade shit. That's always fun.
That's the thing with like the drive-ins is they're known to have like really good food, and you get to eat in your car, just like comfortable as shit watching a movie.
Yeah, it's just like a thing, you know. It's like a date thing that you do.
And like that's why they're getting. I think a lot of them are starting to make a huge push towards getting bigger chairs and getting rid of like all the shitty movie theater chairs.
Yeah, like
you go for the recliners.
Smaller, you know, keep them small. Stop playing stupid movies when a movie's done. Like when one person goes to the movie to see a movie, cancel that movie. Open it up for the popular movie. Just make them smaller so there's bigger chairs and you can relax and recline. You know. It's still gonna be hard for them to make money though. That's the thing. It's like how do they get? I guess $20 fucking popcorn is the only way to really do it.
This summer was one of the worst box office summers.
I think it's always. Like, I think it's just since Netflix, it just keeps going down and down. I think
it's Netflix, and
it's also it's the quality because I was gonna say is like, I mean, crap, right? That was new.
Yeah.
What other new movie out there is there?
Yeah, that wasn't a remake of some 80s movie, or it wasn't, part 5.
Oh, that's another thing too. They're not these movies. They don't need to wait for like that summer release. You know what I mean? Where it's like they have to wait for certain seasons because that's when people are gonna go watch movies.
Summer blockbuster.
You throw it up on Netflix, everyone is able to watch it. This is it, man. This is the future. Netflix is killing it. They need to get a little better movies. Get some Oscar contenders, please. You know.
So could you say that theaters are dead? Netflix is the future, and the future is now.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. Netflix is it's crazy. It's what else is crazy is the smear campaigns from like the movie industry, like got to keep the cinema alive, you know, and all this bullshit, dude.
Well, I mean, like you do, but not. It's got to be its own niche. It's like everything in the that's the weird part of the modern world. The modern world is a niche. Everything's a fucking niche, and you have to find that niche.
Yeah.
There isn't as much like mass, a broad appeal anymore.
Unless you're superhero movies, in which case, if you're Marvel, just keep making these movies because they're making mad money.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Black Panther is getting tons of really good reviews, and I'm so excited to see it this weekend.
I just don't want to go to the movies to see it. You know what I'm saying, dude?
That's the thing. Like,
I'm definitely gonna see it, like probably tonight, and I'm not going to the movies to watch it.
My movie going experience is pretty much Star Wars, Marvel. That's it. That's all I go to the movies for. Because everything else, I can just wait till it hits on demand, or wait till it hits cable, or wait till it hits Netflix. Yeah. And I'm not in a rush to go see 3 billboards or whatever it is.
But every now and then you get something like Mad Max, where it's like that begs. I'm happy I saw that in a theater. That movie begs to be seen in a theater. Yeah, like stuff like that. Yeah.
For it. Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I still waited for.
It was fantastic. I think movies like that beg for a theater. They beg to have a huge fucking screen and a fucking sound system that's going to kill you if you're too close to it.
But then when does like VR movie watching take over? Where you just put on some nice headphones and you just lay down and you're just like,
get that Dolby surround sound headphones.
The screen is
noise
90
canceling.
fucking million feet long, and you're watching it with your friend who lives in fucking California at the same time.
I was gonna say, but then at the same time, it'll get to that once you take out all of the idiots in VR chat who are gonna be there too. Like
in the middle of like a classic movie, like freaking Casablanca. Here's to look at you the way. I can show you the way.
Do you think like if that becomes popular, do you think like there will be like online movie theaters where you'll have to pay and actually walk in a VR world to the movies and sit in like a VR seat? Or do you think it'll just be like
I think people will definitely try to make that a thing, and I don't think it will end up being a thing.
The entire time the Let's All Go to the Movies jingle is playing in the background. Let's all go to the movies.
Like, I think there will definitely be someone who tries to make that a thing, and then there will be just a third-party open thing where you don't have to deal with that shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's probably just be an app. You just fucking watch it. I mean, dude, right now, like, the VR screens are, like, low res. Like, it's just not high enough res. But when they get there...
It's the res, and it's just the way the tech still is. Like, even with a decent res screen, you're still looking at it wonky just because they haven't figured out VR entirely yet. And I don't think they're going to until we get a ways down the way where it's cheap to produce a, like, fitted headset. You know what I mean? Like something like where you can get a cheap fitted headset so like the lenses are where they should be on your eyes instead of just, the mass consumer, like, here's glass that you're supposed to be able to see through at a certain angle. You know what I mean? Like, we all wear glasses here. Like, you can't just have a stick of glass in front of you.
Do you see these bad boys? These do not fit in a fucking Oculus fucking headset. I have to take them off, put contacts in when I use my headset.
Going to see 3D movies and trying to put the 3D glasses over my glasses is fucking awful.
Headache inducing.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, for sure. But I will say that it does do it. Like the screen does feel like it's gigantic when you watch it in VR.
Oh yeah,
it's just not clear enough yet. I think they'll figure it out. Goodbye movie theaters. That's all I gotta say. If you're in the movie theater business, turn your shit into a giant arcade, put a bar in it, some good food, and you will make 3 times as much money. I promise you.
You're talking like there are very few good arcades left.
And they're all bars, so I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if like some of these movie theaters just like renovated and just became barcades. Like, just good arcades and a bar and some good food. Yeah, put on some PDR to work off those onion rings. Get a little time Crisis 3.
You just saying onion rings just made me viciously hungry.
I'm sorry,
starving. All right. Yeah, but definitely go see Cloverfield. You don't have to go see it, but go watch it. Because
And then you can also get it in 4K HDR.
Yeah, that's great.
That's the other beautiful thing.
Oh, it's fucking great. And like my home theater system, it's fucking good enough, dude. It's not it's not like a movie theater, but some people have those in their houses, And now with Netflix, it's just there's no reason, man. There's no reason. All right, let's get into tech. Have you guys been watching anything you want to talk about or listening to anything? Hasn't really been too much else.
No. No, I've been working too much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, let's talk about the APU, the Ryzen APU, Ryzen 5 2400G APU, basically a CPU with a GPU on it.
And there's the Ryzen 3 2200G.
2200G, okay. And that's a little bit more powerful?
No, the 5 is more powerful than the 3.
Oh, okay.
Because the 5 is basically one of the 1400 chips, just with the graphics added. And then the 3 is one of the 1200 chips with the graphics added.
I see. This is cool. Little die shot over on Forbes. There you go.
There's also full benchmarks of those came out, and they're pretty impressive. At least I think.
Yeah, let's look at the
benchmarks. I mean, for what it is, like it's shit performance. I mean, it's still an integrated graphics solution, but it can pretty much play most games or almost all games, depending on what you put the settings to at 30 frames. That's insane. You can get $100 CPU that's 4 cores and has good enough performance CPU-wise with integrated graphics that will at least play a game at 30 frames.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're playing like Fortnite, if you're playing Overwatch, if you're playing, a lot of these kind of more simple games, this is fine.
It was doing like 70 frames per second on high settings in Overwatch.
Yeah.
The Ryzen 5, like what the hell?
That's insane.
Like, especially with the current graphics card prices.
Too. It kills the size, so you can get something super slim if you only play certain games like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just playing like Overwatch and basic games, you can just get a tiny mini ITX. I mean, I've been parting out a mini ITX build, $390 that will actually play games at 30 frames. What the fuck?
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's a good time for this to come out since the GPU market. I mean, let's go to eBay and look. We've been looking like every week. Let's just see what eBay doesn't work. Oh, here we go. That was odd.
Graphics card prices, they've gone down since their super crazy peak there a couple of weeks ago, but like they're still absurd. They still want, like $350 some places for like a 470.
So you can get
which is a 1080 card.
Yeah, you can get a 1080 Ti for $1,000. One of like the MSI Armor ones.
So the crap one.
You can get the Zotacs for about $1,050. So they're still pretty high, man. So something like this is super interesting. Let's see what a 70 Ti. Yeah, around $700 for a 70 Ti.
For what, 7 Ti? So 1080? Jesus. Yeah. Like, what's 1060 pricing still?
I'm sure.
Can you actually buy that?
Oh, I put 1060 Ti.
Is that
on
eBay?
1060s
are still 300 plus.
Yeah. This one's selling for 650
for the 6 gig, like 250 for the 3 gig.
650.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, like that's absurd. Like for a 3, okay, at Newegg, and I'm sure it's not from Newegg, but still Newegg. $379 for a 1060, the 3 gig version. Yeah, you could get that card for like $180. That's literally twice the fucking price. But that's the budget graphics card model right now.
Yeah. Well, you don't need it anymore. You get this bad boy.
I mean,
throw it into a fucking even the 10 ATX. Like
the 1050 is what you'd like. I used to do for like, okay, yeah, I can buy a 1050 and an i3 or like one of the cheap Ryzen ones. You know what I mean? And that'll give you decent enough performance. Those things are still going for like $140 to $160, $170. That's the price of this fucking CPU.
Yeah.
Like, crap, dude. Just buy, if you're going super budget, just buy this and then wait till next year, pretty much. Or like when graphics cards finally go down, and then you can just slot in a graphics card. Because I saw some testing too, like people like Linus and stuff like that. The actual CPU is still just as good, and in some cases, some of them were a little bit better than the comparative Ryzen version. It's like, it's straight up, it's the Ryzen chip.
Yeah.
It's not, the CPU itself hasn't been slashed in any way or anything like that, or downclocked or anything. So like the Ryzen 4, like the Ryzen 4, the Ryzen 5, like that 1400 that's now a 2400, that chips for a while was like the go-to of the, you know, $700 PC.
Yeah.
That was the go-to, 4-core, 8 thread. It's a beast for like gaming. Like, it's not so much, you know, it's not an insane render or anything, but you're not looking for an insane render at this price point. But like, that was the go-to chip. Now you can have decent graphics with it. Yeah, dude.
It's awesome. Extreme Tech says the best blend of CPU GPU performance we've ever seen. I mean, I guess value wise.
Yeah. I mean, it's the benches it's the same as the 1030. And I know they were saying that in the pre-hype, and I was like definitely not ready to give AMD that much credit, because like, don't get me wrong, I like my AMD stuff, but AMD definitely does like the flop.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't beat around that. But a lot of all the third-party testing I've seen is it's about a 1030, which is a $90 graphics card baked in.
Yeah, it's just cool to know that, like I'm sure Intel's gonna have an answer for it.
I don't
Their
know.
onboard graphics.
I think they've given up.
Maybe.
Like, to be honest, I think
mean, when
they've
they
given
paired
up on it.
They paired up with Vega for that one thing.
Yeah, like they've already given up and said, hey, give us the graphics you're putting in this to put in our own chips.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been able to do that. I mean, maybe I can see Intel coming back definitely in a couple of years, because I know over the summer they hired the lead from Radeon.
Yeah.
So the lead from Radeon, I remember they hired him to handle graphics technology at Intel, which they didn't say anything about. So like, you know, maybe in 2 or 3 years we'll see some cool Intel graphics thing. But till then, I think they gave up.
Jerry, that was the one that was like touted as like the biggest free agent signing, right?
Except he was, no, because he wasn't really like a free agent, or maybe, I don't know. I can't remember.
It was like really like a lot of people were making a big deal about it.
Well, they were, because he was the head of Radeon, and a lot of people were getting really hyped on Vega.
Yeah.
Because when like, Vega first came out, if you could buy it for the right price, the 56 chip, not bad.
And Intel has always kind of been like an NVIDIA kind of partnership. There was always like like you just kind of were like, you can either go all AMD build or an Intel chip with a NVIDIA graphics card. So that kind of move was interesting. And then we saw the chip put together, and we were like, what the fuck is this? This is insane. Never before seen.
Yeah. But I mean,
now the prices are definitely shaking it up with this release. So this is super interesting. What I'm thinking is I want to see this in laptops, full desktop power laptop, super thin, like a powerful ultrabook that could edit video, photo edit, and play light games. Would be awesome, but keep it thin, because you don't need to add in that extra cooling. You don't need to add in that extra GPU area. You can either put an SSD there or just, you know, make it smaller. There
are 3 that have made it to the laptops, because the laptop version came out first, and they're great. Like, for chips and everything, they're fucking fantastic. The problem is they're in really shitty laptops. Like, I tried out all of them in my laptop search, and like, the actual chip runs great and the performance is killer, but I mean, they're in, you know, the $600 mainstream whatever HP line.
Do you know
like what I mean? They're all in the budget lines. They're not in the NV 360 2-in-1 or whatever. Like, that's the HP one. That's a Ryzen 5 25U or G or whatever they call it, and that has 8 Vega compute cores, so that's like the one that's in the $99 desktop one here, but it's the same exact Vega compute cores.
Yeah.
And like that one, like performance wise, it's a beast, but it's just a shitty laptop.
It doesn't look that bad, but for $1,000,
Yeah, well, they have one for $650 too, but like
wasn't
it's not
$750.
it's not that bad of a laptop, but like it I mean, just going in store and like having tried it out for a half hour, it wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah, I had an Asus before I got my MacBook, and it was like a nice machine, but like the build quality, you sacrifice in build quality when you get like a cheaper kind of PC laptop, and they just haven't been able. I think the only one that has really figured it out has been Razer. I mean, their laptops
Razer's good, yeah.
They just
them and Microsoft.
Yeah, and then
I bought a Surface laptop this week.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh,
which like is the first Microsoft laptop I've bought in like 10 years. That's the first Windows laptop I've bought in 10 years because most Windows laptops are shit.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, like that was the only laptop I could pick up and like I just fell in love with. The laptop. The actual Surface laptop.
Oh, the Surface laptop. Oh, interesting.
It was the only one I like fell in love with. Because I tried because I mean I have an old MacBook Air and I do enjoy that thing a lot. It's not that I don't like Mac OS. I can't justify to myself spending over $1,000 on butterfly switches.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a subjective thing. Like the Surface laptop, that keyboard, I fell in love with it. And for programming, that 3.2 res, that's just nice. How it's a 3.2 like screen resolution, or aspect ratio, like that was gorgeous.
I don't think I've ever really used a device like that. Now I think about it.
Dude, go to Best Buy and pick one up. Like they're onto something there, I think. So I was really impressed with it.
That's interesting, even with the laptop and not like a Surface Pro or just a Surface 5 or 4, whatever the new one is.
I thought about it, but it's honestly I'm just doing it's just for my workflow. It's mostly for programming. So I wanted the best keyboard.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what most of that search came down to, and Surface laptop is by far the best keyboard in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the butterfly switch. I am a butterfly switch fanatic, man. I do like.
Yeah, I know you like them, but I'm the opposite. So that's why.
It's definitely polarizing. That's for sure. Yeah,
well, because what sold it to me was I went and I made a couple of websites because one of my friends who I'm helping out, he works at Best Buy, so he's like he can let me have free reign basically. So I just took a MacBook for an hour and just sat there programming with the butterfly switches. And the thought I had the entire time was like, I could learn to like this and I could tell it was getting better with it, but I could never love it.
Yeah.
Like that's how I came away from it. And it's like, I can't exactly.
There's no travel.
And it's like, it's really cool, but I can't spend $1,000 if I'm not going to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure. No, that's the thing with laptops. If the keyboard sucks, then you can't use it. And that was the problem with the Asus that HP
Envy. The screen was nice enough. The keyboard sucked.
Yeah, that was the thing with the Asus. Fucking gorgeous, 4K, color accurate. It was strong enough to play some games. It was a 2-in-1 as well, a touch screen. But the keyboard and the ports on it and the build quality, it was about that thick for no reason, just because it was just like it was like a plastic, so it kind of had like a bubble to it, and there was just no need to be that thick. So it's like, you know, I just needed something to run around with, something that was thin, because I fucking move around all the time in Philly.
No.
And I needed a nice keyboard.
That's the only thing I don't like about the Surface is it's really limited port-wise. But
yeah. But
that's why it's my second computer and not my first.
Is it just USB?
It's just a USB-A.
Ooh. Oh, just one USB-A?
Yeah, no, that's what killed that laptop. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I mean, I don't need it for anything.
Yeah. I mean,
like if I was buying, no, what I was gonna say is like if I was buying a laptop to do everything, no, I wouldn't buy it. But in my situation, that's fine.
Does it come with a dock?
No.
So how do you charge it and then use a USB stick or something? You can't?
No, it still has a normal charger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it still has that stupid Surface port that all the Surfaces have, which is really dumb, but it's still at least Maglite or their version, so it still works fine.
Yeah.
But the only nice thing they did is that charger port can actually transfer data. So you can buy a dock for it that does have more USB ports, but the actual charger itself has more USB ports on it.
Yeah. Oh.
But it's still stupid.
Yeah, I don't. They could have put like one more. They could have put one more port on it. But I mean, if you, I don't know. I guess if you take up the charging, because most of the stuff now, at least with the MacBook, that I do like how it's just one cable and you can just pop it in and it just transfers everything. Even though it was a fucking bitch to figure out. But that's interesting. You got the Surface laptop. Cool. All right. Well, that was that. Oh, the HomePod. Let's talk about the HomePod. The HomePod got released to much controversy. Anything Apple releases always has controversy. Now, I don't want to focus too much. I don't have one. I haven't listened to one. I'm pretty serious about my speakers. I think you are too, Jerry. But I want to listen to it before I give my thoughts on it. But I do want to point out this person's. It's Winter Charm, who's like a huge audiophile reviewer. They review for magazines and stuff, and they posted it on r/audiophile, and it's like a complete breakdown of all the frequencies. It's like the most advanced type of review that you can get, strictly on sound. It doesn't really focus on any of the other stuff like the smart features on it. But if you're worried about the sound, basically this is the best smart speaker, Bluetooth speaker. This is one of the best standalone speakers you can buy. Basically, the reason why it's so impressive, from what Winter Charm said, is the way that they can push, the way that they render the bass, and it's because of the acoustic microphone that's inside of it that kind of tells it where it's at in your house. It can track how the bass is pushing too far in certain frequencies and reins them down. So when the bass is tight enough, and the bass is cool because it's on the top as well. When the bass is tight enough, you can like rein the bass in where it's just like super responsive. It can just reach frequencies that other speakers can't at higher decibel levels. And that is one of the reasons why this person has been loving the sound from it. Not to mention that it's also just like really crisp and it has like true to life vocals. It's an excellent speaker. And one of the reasons why a lot of people have been criticizing it is because it uses Siri. It doesn't use Spotify. It uses nothing else except for Apple Music. You can like AirPlay stuff to it, but that's like a different experience. I wouldn't call that native, so it doesn't count. Natively, it only plays Apple Music, which is a big con. A lot of people have Spotify. Will they get Spotify in the future? I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it. You can assume it, but you just never know with Apple.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. I heard because I think I saw it in your write-up too of that guy's post. It seems like it's not the best mids. Like it sounds like it's really great at highs and really great at lows.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's worth Apple Music. Because for me, it's they need something more than Apple Music. I helped my girlfriend set up Apple Music 4 or 5 months ago. That was a hellhole. Like versus Spotify, that like it's because it's still Apple Music is still really heavily tied into iTunes.
Yeah.
And if you have like a 15-year-old iTunes account, fuck that. That it's hell. Like, because it just wants to download your entire iTunes account to anything that you have Apple Music on, like by default. Like, no, dude.
I have Tidal. Because I have Sprint, and you got like 6 months free Tidal, and I've been using that. But I think when that goes, I think I'm gonna get Apple Music. I've had Spotify before that for the longest time, and I love Spotify. I like Tidal because they give you like the uncompressed FLAC version of the audio stream to you. So it's like super, super nice if you can, get that audio out. I don't know if Apple Music does that. I have no idea. I don't know if it's just AAC. From what I can see here too, the mids, they say the mids are pretty damn good. Everything seems to be pretty flat in reference, with the bass kind of having a nice tight response to it. But you're spending $350 on this speaker. It's not complete. It doesn't come with the stereo option. So if you buy two, you will not get a stereo experience. That's a big fucking con, man. That was the one thing that I thought was really cool about the Google Home Max, was that you could buy two of those big fuckers and they would give you a nice stereo experience. You can cast your TV to them. So then there you go. There's your home entertainment system. Plus it's a smart speaker. I'm looking at that one. I'm not looking at the HomePod right now. The only reason I like the HomePod is because it is Apple. I have a lot of Apple products and it's got good sound, but I already have good sound. I don't think I need it. You know, I don't use my Google Home for much of anything either. I don't really use smart features. I don't have like, smart lights and a fucking smart toaster and a smart fridge. Like I don't really have anything else I use it other than telling me what the fucking weather is and, you know, what some sports scores are. So I'm like, I don't know if maybe I'm just like the wrong market for it, but I kind of have no interest in this product. I do want to hear it though. If the sound is that good, maybe I'll check it out when they release the stereo option. I probably won't buy this thing. I probably won't just buy one if I do buy it. I do want that stereo option where I can put my bookshelf speakers or my stand-up speakers like in my office or somewhere with my record player. And then have that as like the TV kind of audio, which would be cool. But, you know, they got to make everything so fucking difficult, dude. Like, just the fact that it's just so locked in. It's a HomeKit device, which is stupid. I mean, this is like I don't know. It's sold like hotcakes, though. It's sold like Apple knows what people want they know like the bare minimum what people want, and they give it to you at a premium. It comes with nice design. It comes with a nice look, nice build quality, great sound. But they know that most people are just going to get this thing so they can play, you know, fucking Drake's new song on it. Or they're going to play the newest, you know, podcast that they're listening to. They're not really doing anything else with it. And I guess that was the reason why they released this thing so early. I want a little bit more out of it if I'm spending that much. You can get a lot of great speakers and you can get a lot of great sound for $350. And if you're going to get two, you're going to spend $700. I mean, you're basically in audiophile territory where you can get a really good home theater system and, you know, you're going to be able to do anything with it. You know, you can put up Chromecast to it and just cast anything you want to it. Or you can, some of them just haven't baked in now. So it's interesting, man. It's
Siri.
Yeah, Siri. I don't really have too much of a problem with Siri. Like I said, I don't add things to my calendar or nothing like that.
I saw one person though, and I think that kind of summed it up. He's normally an Apple fanboy, but he has a full Alexa system. He just asked Alexa how much the HomePod weighed, gave it the answer immediately. He asked Siri how much does the HomePod weigh, and Siri is just like, I think Apple.com might know.
Yeah. Alexa's just the best, I think, in terms of like an assistant. The Google Assistant is very clinical. Like you're gonna get the answer, but it's gonna be in a very clinical way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what's the sports scores, and it's gonna just straight up just tell you the sports scores. Or, you know, what's the weather here? It tells you. Where Alexa, you can be a little bit more fluent in your language. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Where you can be like, hey, what is the weather? You know, I don't know. It's just a little bit. It's just smarter, I think, in terms of like the language it uses and how it gives you this stuff and what it can do, especially when you tie it into like a Logitech Harmony Hub. I mean, the thing is fucking powerful, man. And Apple's losing that fight, man. I don't know why they don't just like. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They have all this money and it doesn't seem to be really going into the things that people really want. Like the core like prosumers that kind of left Apple and went to like Surface products and the Surface Studios and Adobe Suites and Android. They seem to not care about that market anymore. And then you get a product like the iMac Pro and you're like, what are you doing? You know, are you going to try to go after that market in the way that they want to, or you're going to try to still, you know, do this ham-fisted attempt at gaining that prosumer response? Like, I don't understand what they're trying to really accomplish with some of this stuff. Locking it down to Apple Music only just doesn't make any sense, you know, doesn't make much sense at all. they know that they're not going to sell Apple Music. Like when someone buys this thing, they're not buying it because they want Apple Music. Vice versa, they're not getting Apple Music because they want a HomePod. So that part doesn't make sense either. I don't know. I do want to hear it though. I hear it sounds fucking good, so maybe there's that. This story is interesting as well. So we talked about the deepfakes, didn't we? On the show?
A little.
I feel like we talked about it.
Question mark?
Or did we talk about it on a different show?
Well, deepfakes. If you don't know what deepfakes is, it used to primarily be used for porn because, of course, everything is. But the cool actual use of it originally was it's really great at doing a photorealistic mock-up of a person's face. You give it, basically what it does is it's a program that will use your computer. It will take out a video. It will pull out every single one of those frames and try to analyze it, and then take a second video, do the same thing, then try to swap the faces.
Yeah.
It's a face swap, but it's on a very frame-by-frame analytical level.
And the deep fakes is like people were doing it with celebrities, where if you can't really go see it now. I don't know where you can go find it. I guess you can go Pornhub or something, even though they said they kind of banned it too. But basically, it's a slippery slope because then people can do it to your sister, they can do it to your mom, they can do it to your boss, they can do it to you. So that's the problem with that, and it looks so real. Like there's a lot of them that are a little janky, but when they're good, they're really difficult to tell the difference between, because video is just so much more convincing than photo. Anyone can say this photo is photoshopped. Even if it's clearly not, you can still say it. There's people who believe the earth is flat because NASA one time maybe said that they used a CG render of something to stitch together photos. So when you present video that is very, very convincing, like a lot of these deepfakes were, there's a very slippery slope. So Reddit banned the subreddit that was gaining traction after Philly D kind of broke the story on his channel. Dude, it's crazy in 2018 where Philly DeFranco show is breaking gigantic news stories. But that's what happened, dude. He broke that story, and now Reddit banned it. Pornhub was banning it. They're getting banned all over the place, which I think is actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool because I don't see, while I think the technology is interesting, I don't see what other purposes there are other than nefarious with this technology. I think we did talk about it where someone was saying like you could use it for grief. If someone in your family dies, then you could kind of use their face on like a video and I don't know, do it that way. But that kind of makes sense. But any other reason, man, it seems to be pretty much only nefarious. So I think that's why I don't have a problem with them taking it down. And then we have the SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch. Did you see this, Doobie?
Yo, Elon Musk is crazy.
Did you see it? Did you watch the stream?
Yeah, no, that was insane. Like, it's straight out of science fiction. You know what they say about science fiction? It's only science fiction until it's science. This is what we get, man. Like, rockets landing perfectly down like you would see in the movies.
Yeah.
Like you always imagined. We're shooting off Teslas into space so, aliens can find that and go, oh, this is gaudy.
Well, I think what was so cool about this was that I don't think people realize how fucking big that rocket is.
Was like like 5 billion tons or something?
It's like a skyscraper. Number? It's like they shot a fucking skyscraper into the fucking space and then landed it. 2 of them they landed at the same time. It's insane how smart some
pretty much exactly where they wanted to land them.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. And then they shot the Tesla. The Tesla I think was the least dramatic part.
Yeah.
That was silly.
No, it was just kind of funny, but like no, the coolest part for me was that they same time.
Yeah.
Like it's not that like no, they were almost, one touchdown slightly. It's like no, literally they just dropped. Yeah. That was fucking nuts.
Exactly where they wanted it to land them, And these, like I said, these things are the size of a skyscraper. They're fucking gigantic.
And I love how like he was just like I was listening to an interview with him. He was like, I mean, yeah, it could have went terribly wrong. He had no idea what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I think someone said
How much
like
money that is?
someone said like they were just hoping that it didn't explode. Like that was like if it didn't explode, then that's a success. And then they went as so far as to launching the payload, then landing 2 boosters, 2 out of 3 boosters. It's massive success. Now I was listening
Imagine
to
Elon Musk with Jeff Bezos money.
I mean, he's basically up there, dude. He's got enough.
He's up there.
He can get any amount of money he really needs, especially if he comes up more and more ideas like the flamethrower. I mean, he's gonna be rich forever.
You and your flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower that he had to finally confirm is just a propane torch.
Yeah. The one that he told everyone not to buy. First of all, he told people not to buy it. It's stupid. But yeah, it was super impressive watching it. I remember we were in Yucca Valley. We just got to Yucca Valley and we hit this Mexican restaurant, got burritos, and then one of the dudes I was with was like, "Oh shit, Elon Musk is firing a rocket. I wonder if we could see it." And then we put it on the phone and we watched it from there. And I was like, "Oh my god!" At first, I thought there was someone actually in the Tesla. Until they were like, "Dude, no, it's a dummy." I was like, "Wait, they're launching him in a Tesla to Mars?" And Dad explained it to me. But it's pretty dope, man. It's crazy how smart some people are. Like, how do you figure? Like, how do you get that done? You know, someone like Elon Musk was able to create a gigantic fucking rocket and just shoot something into space, just like happenstance.
Because I was just gonna say, yeah, because he was smart enough to make PayPal when he was 19 and become a billionaire. And then he has the money now to hire the people who can actually do that for him. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say Elon Musk is not smart. He is fucking genius, as I'm sure. But one person can't rock. They can't shoot a rocket. Yeah. Thinking like he can't play Quake by himself. No,
a team of hundreds of people to do the math, to do the science, to build it, to make sure everything's perfect.
But still, it's just like this guy did it. Like he got it together. He was the one who was able to get those people together, and I mean everyone that attributes SpaceX to him, right? So
I mean, he also thinks
crazy.
that we're probably more than likely just programs in a Matrix simulation.
Yeah, he's crazy, dude. He's definitely.
I mean,
insane.
Still, it's nuts that. Well, like, I mean, also, like, who else is doing that?
No
what
one.
other? No, I mean, like, what other company has been able to shoot a rocket?
Yeah.
Period. Let alone have it have an actual payload and be able to have it recoverable.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane because each one of those things is worth like what, like $20 billion? Each one of those rockets.
Yeah, they're super expensive.
That's nuts.
But
I mean, you're saving $40 billion a launch. That's fucking massive.
Yeah, well, I was listening to the Vergecast, and they brought on Lauren Grush, who was like interviewing them. She's like their space guy.
Yeah, no, she's their space. Yeah, she actually did a cool series too a while ago. That was like all about space, like how realistic is space travel, basically.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool little mini series.
Well, she was explaining like there's another like competing kind of space firm that doesn't get a lot of credit because they're not as like well known as SpaceX, but they were pretty much explaining like you're really not saving that much money to reuse these rockets. You're saving some money, but it's not like a drastic amount where it's something that might be viable. And that was kind of the reason why this is more of like testing, and they're just kind of seeing where to go. I guess, I don't know, there's just too much can go wrong. There's too much insurance on things, and you're still, a lot of the money just comes in just like the act of launching it, the fuel, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just the actual booster itself is not as cost efficient as, you know, just kind of trashing and building.
But I also think that's true right now. But if they keep working on that, that might be completely different in 10 years. That's what I think. That's really cool about.
Wasn't this whole rocket experiment really just a proof of concept to prove that we can do this? So going in the future, we can find ways to use this information and use this technology to make crafts that could theoretically come to and from.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of the payload stuff is like, you know, where SpaceX is basically like a commercial flight thing, not for people, but for payload. So if a company like
Oh yeah, it's
say
totally
my
the
company
payload.
wants to shoot a fucking satellite.
They still have most of the NASA contracts.
Yeah.
Like they've been launching to the space station for years, which is insane to me.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool though. It was definitely a cool event. It was definitely a cool event, man. It felt like the new age kind of what is that Daredevil dude? I forget his name. The dude on the motorcycle. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Evil Knievel.
Evil Knievel. It felt like an Evil Knievel event, you know, where it's just like...
For some reason, I kept thinking Johnny Knoxville first, and I don't know what that says about me.
Hi, I'm Elon Musk, and this is the two rockets.
Like, I'm just like thinking of him from like all, everything he did after Jackass, though. Like they did the Nitro shit, like, or whatever the bike thing is and stuff like that. So I'm just imagining, yeah. I'm just imagining Johnny Knoxville like on like a BMX bike with a rocket attached to it. Like, I'm Johnny Knoxville, look on the Nitro boost or whatever.
All right, moving on. Google closes a $1.1 billion deal for HTC design talent. They just love them some HTC, man. That's for damn sure. Deal involves more than 2,000 HTC engineers moving over to Google. They will all remain in Taiwan. Osterloh notes that Taipei is becoming Google's biggest engineering hub in the Asia-Pacific region. HTC's contract manufacturing operations and VR division are not affected, but a substantial majority of the smartphone R&D team is joining Google, according to a person familiar with the matter. So there you go. More HTC stuff. What is this? AIDS. I was like,
yeah,
I don't remember.
I had to name it all.
AIDS.
I was naming all of them so I could tell what they were, and that was the only acceptable title, I thought.
I was like, I don't remember putting a story about AIDS on here. But I did. Logan Paul learned nothing. I mean, this is not really just attributed to Verge. This is pretty known news. But YouTube has basically temporarily took all of his advertising revenue off of his channel. He's getting no ads. He's making no money on YouTube right now after tasing some dead rats on camera. So there was a couple of rats on the ground. They were dead. He shot a taser at them a couple times, not just once, a couple times, and decided it was a good idea to upload that video.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm enjoying this tweet from him swallowing one Tide Pod per retweet.
Dude, does he have like a mental illness?
Yeah, it's called fucking... How old is he? And he's super fucking rich and famous, and no one says no to him, right? When has anyone has ever said no to this guy? Well, this might be the first time, where YouTube's like, dude, we can't have you doing this. They're not taking his channel down. I don't know if he deserves his channel to be taken down. Maybe give him a strike or something. But taking the ads is pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy-handed approach at this, and I think it's well warranted, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. I don't care like if you're a PETA supporter or if you fucking despise PETA. Dude, it's just not something you put on the fucking internet.
No, dude, that's
children
like
to see.
What your sadistic friend used to do when you were 12. Like that was like what that, you know what I mean? Like that was what like that kid in high school or middle school you used to know. Middle school. Like that's what those middle school kids used to know would do. And then you're like, oh, and then would never talk to them again.
Yeah, that was a kid who would like, eat his boogers and like fucking kiss his sister and shit.
Yeah,
that's what that kid would do.
You just don't do that.
It's a crazy time in 2018 when Logan Paul is the most hated Paul brother. I think.
Then there was that other
the Golden Boy
right?
these days.
Dude, if it's not one, it's both. He had they have like a brother duel. You know what I mean? They just have to.
Brother.
Yeah, like, hey, dude, I'm more hated. No, bro, I'll be more hated by this time next year.
I can't believe he did it immediately after coming back. No one said no to him. No one said this isn't a good idea. He obviously doesn't edit his videos. He does nothing, right? He's just in front of the camera. So who is someone trying to sabotage him, you think? Like, what the fuck is going on here? It makes no sense.
I mean, at the same time, like, I hope that other guy gets fucked over. I'm trying to remember. He's a tech tuber. He does tech reviews. and what his reviews were always like breaking iPhones and shit like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But H3H3 did a video on him a long time ago, but he just started pulling like liquid metal. Like he got iron and just melted it down. So here's molten lead, and he's just pouring it over an iPhone, and he threw in a bunch of cockroaches that were alive and just started pouring them on top of the cockroaches. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Like, if you want to do that, do it, right? You do what you got to do, but don't fucking.
Here's
put
my
it
entertainment.
online
I'm just gonna kill animals.
and then get paid for it.
Yeah.
And then get paid for it, man. That's where YouTube is like, we need to fucking figure out what.
Well, especially too, because it's all kids shit.
Yeah.
It's not adults watching this. It's
No,
just a fucking
it's
like,
children.
you know, it's an 8-year-old. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Ask anyone over the age of 30 who, you know, Tech Rax is. They're not gonna know.
it was that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna know who the fuck you're talking about. The children watch that channel, just like Logan Paul. So it's man, I don't know. Demonetize him, that'll definitely get his attention. Then he'll be like, I need to tighten up my team, do something here. I like Logan Paul as like a media person and like someone that has put together something that's been super successful. He's made a lot of money on it. I mean, I respect what he's been able to accomplish, but there's just, you can't do this shit and expect to get away with it. You know, especially after all these eyes are on him after that suicide video, which was, I still think that they should have took his channel down after that. They should have temporarily disconnected his whole channel for like a month. That shit was so fucked up. Okay, next story, the Intel Vault. These are like the new
The glasses.
They're kind of like Google Glass, but not really, because it's not augmented reality. It's really just beaming a display into your face, right?
Yeah, and that's mostly what Google Glass did.
Well,
like Google Glass wasn't AR. It was just a tiny little screen in front of your face that would give you data. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I don't really know too much about this.
Okay, these seem kind of cool. Basically, it is a little tiny beam that will just, like in the lower corner of your eye, just feed you whatever notification or data you tell it to. And it will the cool thing they figured out how to do that though, it's only there if you look to that corner of your eye. It's not just permanently there. So like if you're looking away, it has a sensor in it that somehow tells you're not looking at it. Okay. But when you look to that corner of your eye, it will actually show you whatever this data you want to be seeing, which I think is actually kind of dope. And it's also doesn't look like trash. I mean, it doesn't look good. Yeah, but I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it still looks really bad, but it actually looks closer to a pair of fucking glasses than Google Glass ever did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, comparing this to Google Glass, this is a Bugatti, and the Google Glass is a fucking Honda Civic.
Yeah, I mean, still, like, you can't get Ray-Bans to, like, hook you up with some frames or something. You got to get these fucking Walmart frames, dude.
True. I know, dude, but at least they look like a pair of glasses.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Google Glass is all fucked up. But I think it is I think a lot of people are going to kind of be worried, like, something shooting in my eye at all times, and I need to be worried about that. But I think,
there is definitely concerns there.
Yeah. I don't know if that's, like, the smartest move.
But I mean, like, hey, dude, if you get, I want to see them test it and like actually see what they could come out with this.
I always wanted like a screen in my glasses. I'm sure anyone with glasses wanted that, you know?
Yeah, because like I think this is just early prototype, but like I don't know if they could actually run with this, that could be really cool. Like, I mean, even if it's like, because I'm like the first thing I can like think of that where glass is used the most is like factory lines. It's just nice so you can have it there. So like when you can just look down and say, cool, I'm on this step, and it will just go to the next step. So it like, here's exactly what you need to do, stuff like that. But like, even in just real world applications, like crap, it could be cool if like I could just look down and like Spotify switches to the next song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Or your Twitter feed's there. You're just checking tweets.
Yeah.
You're bored and you're just like, bloop. Or, I mean, if someone like has like a heart monitor, you know, they can check their heart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of applications for sure. For sure, you know, hire Ray-Ban or hire someone who knows how to Oakley. I mean, even Oakley, why not? You know, get someone who knows how to
Yeah.
make glasses to give you some
Like
nice
that,
frames.
all of that would be
I love
dope.
I'm watching the Verge video. I love how the fucking guy making these glasses has the worst pair of crooked glasses on his fucking face right now, dude. That
Hey,
guy
dude,
should not be designing the actual frames. Let's just
hey,
make that
you
known.
never know, dude. Because I have him. Yeah, he might have the same problem I have though. My glasses are never straight because one of my ears is slightly up.
Yeah, but they have, I think they have like they have things that fixes it for you. You can get those I forget what they're called. They can fix it for you. I think his glasses are just fucked up. I think they're pretty thin, dude.
Yeah,
you
they
get those
are
wire
thin wire.
frames.
Yeah.
They bend all the time. Dude, honestly though, at the end of the day,
But I
want to
mean,
get
that
LASIK
that
because I
looks
do
like it's
hate
closer
glasses.
to an actual pair of glasses.
Oh no, for sure.
Like that
100%.
looks like it's at least getting to the realm of like being passable.
100%. Plus, like there is like markings on it that kind of make them look a little goofy. So if they take those off,
Well, yeah,
they
I'm
would
sure.
look fine.
I'm sure those will probably be off by the time this hits anywhere.
Yeah.
Like this is just like they got the scoop on it. This is like the first anyone's heard of this. So this is still an early prototype.
It does seem like too they are sitting on his head a little odd. Like they seem like a little.
They're high.
Like they're like that, right? They're kind of like pushed out a little bit. Maybe because they're big. But as far as the technology goes, it is interesting. It is interesting. I kind of want to see.
I'm impressed too because it looks like where the light's actually coming from is down here, which is like the thinnest part of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
The glasses. So they could, if it is like that, they could put it into something better looking.
I also think like you wouldn't really need to. I think like just looking in that area might not be enough. Like you would need to focus on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where your eyes focus and then that screen kind of pops up, because if you're doing something, you're looking there and that screen's in your way, that could get a little annoying. But that would be a little bit harder to kind of figure out how to trigger it when your eyes focus.
Well, I'm trying to remember if it might be something kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I know it's not. It's just supposed to show up once you look down towards like that corner.
Yeah.
Which I mean that's a good step because like from what I was remembering reading the article, it's like it's not big. You know, it is totally like where it is in your eye is way underneath where, you know, it's totally in your just not where you focus, peripheral. Thank you. Yeah.
I want to check them out. That's for sure. Have you tried Google Glass?
No.
I tried them. There's a pawn shop that actually sold them. And I was like, do you guys have a pair of Google Glasses? I was like, can I check them out? I might buy them. Just fucking with them. I just want to try them. And I mean, it's kind of just exactly what you would expect. It's kind of just a screen in your face. But it is like a focus thing. Like you have to like focus and then you see it. But it's always there. That's the thing.
That makes sense though, because it's an actual screen you look at.
Yeah.
Where this is like, that is what is also interesting of this, that it actually shoots the screen into your retina. Like it shoots it into your eye basically. So that could be cool because I think if you do look down, your eye's just going to focus on it anyway.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's just like safe, but still, man.
Still kind of weird, yeah.
Kinda fucking freaky.
Not ready to shoot a laser in your eye.
Yeah, God forbid, you know, you walk into some like radiated area and it just burns you get burning in your eye.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, dude. Yeah.
All right, moving on. NVIDIA trying to push graphics cards.
What's new?
Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. We're doing everything we can to increase GPU supplies, it says NVIDIA's CEO. Yeah, I'm sure you are. It's your fucking job is to create GPUs. Where are they?
Hey guys, we're trying to make more. We're trying to make more of this only product we sell.
And I love how fucking PC Gamer uses the 980 Ti as a fucking GPU. Fucking thing.
Well, yeah, dude, that's the only thing you can find. It's like he used 980 Ti.
This is interesting. Earlier this week, analysts predicted that most cryptocurrencies would plummet to zero, and NVIDIA reckons that the market will remain unstable with demand for graphics cards likely to increase over the next few months. Executive Vice President Colette Kress said, "Our main focus remains on core market as cryptocurrency will likely remain volatile." Basically,
Which
the currency
also-
plummeting
oh,
is
go ahead.
the 51% thing. It's just a lot of kind of technical bullshit, but some analysts are
Yeah.
saying that for sure.
Well, what I'm interested too is there's a lot of rumors that they are actually going to launch their 20 series or 1100 series, whatever they end up calling it, in like May.
Oh, really?
That's like the rumored expected launch date for an 80 series and a 70 series. Because it would have been 2 years, and usually they like doing them early March around their trade show or the other
Right.
trade show that's around then.
Right.
So that's also, will that actually happen? I don't know, but hey, they're apparently mass producing GDR6 now, so
yeah,
that could be the reason why.
Yep.
Which would hopefully fight back with the whole problem of GDDR5 and DDR4 being impossible to get.
Dude, I love new GPU day. It's like one of my favorite days of the year. New GPU day. I'll definitely be on that early adopter line.
Well, that's also what I was saying. That's why I was so hyped on those new Ryzen chips. Buy one of those now. See if that resets the market.
Yeah.
Because that new architecture GPU totally could reset the market. Like if it's like the last series was, or even the 980 series, like those came out, they were the best thing by far.
Yeah.
And if you're a crypto miner, usually that's what you want to buy. You want to buy that you want to buy the new 1070.
Yeah.
So that could reset the graphics market a little bit, or at least help it out a shit ton. Plus, hey, dude, there's a reason why I have a 970 right now. I want that 2070 or 1170, whatever the fuck they're gonna call it.
What do you they wouldn't call it the 1170, I don't think. I think that's a little, I don't know, maybe they would. They're not very good.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be 20, 20 something. But like, I mean, they went 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you go from there? Do you go to 11 or do you go to 2 or 20?
I think too, like, if they're gonna launch something in May, it's got to be substantially more powerful, I think, because if not, and they dilute the market kind of the way it is now.
It's Nvidia. They don't give a shit about diluting the market.
Yeah, I guess they don't need to.
Like, hey, dudes, we know you wanted a 1070 Ti, so we took a 1080 and just cut 4 cores off of it, compute units off of it. Yeah, dude.
I know you wanted a 1060, but here's the 1050 Ti.
Yeah, like
$50 off.
Like, I don't think Nvidia of all places cares about diluting the market.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Definitely true. Because someone like me will buy that card as soon as it comes out. I don't know. I don't know if I will though. I don't know if I will. It's got to be substantially more powerful because this.
I don't know if it will.
The 1080 Ti is badass. I don't really need it. I haven't maxed it out yet.
Well, that's usually also the way architectures go with graphics cards. It's like every 3. It's when they do the architecture shift from nanometer systems. Yeah. So the reason why the 10 series was so crazy, that was the first one to drop to like, what are they at? 14
nanometer, I think.
They're 14?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so.
That was the first one to drop to 14. If the next one's still based 14, which it probably is, it's going to be a 10% upgrade instead of a 30%
It'll
upgrade.
Just be the DDR6 really that's pushing the.
But that's true. That could push out a whole new loophole though, because GDR6 is like what 4 gigs per second faster.
Yeah, but still though, I don't know how much more, because if they're just slapping on new RAM on it and then kind of keeping the same clocks
it is supposed to be like a new architecture, but not. It's still 14 nanometer based, so like they're not jumping to like 7 or 12 yet,
right?
Because that's where you're going to see the next big like 30% increase.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still going to be a 10% increase or a 15% increase. Is what I'm guessing. I could also totally be wrong.
Yeah, we don't really know yet, so we'll see. But
just following the patterns, that's what their pattern's always been.
It's crazy. GPUs are crazy right now. There's so many, dude. There's so many. We were in a little bit of a drought when the 980 was kind of running supreme, but now it's like you can have anything at any price in any configuration. Well,
Well,
sort of.
you could.
If you could get your hands on it.
Theoretically, you can. They're just all sold out.
Yeah.
Just every single one of them.
A last story: nuclear scientist in Russia arrested for using supercomputer to mine cryptocurrency. Why was
This
he
was
arrested?
hilarious to me.
Why was he arrested? I didn't read this full story.
Well, because they were trying to use the nuclear, they were trying to use, basically a nuclear powered supercomputer that's meant for who the fuck knows in Russia to mine cryptocurrency. Like, it's kind of got a job. It's a supercomputer for a reason.
Oh, this is where,
and it's not to mine your Bitcoin.
That's so dope, dude. There are about 20,000 people employed at the facility currently. It has a supercomputer that is capable of 1 petaflop. The supercomputer is not supposed to be connected to the internet, which was the scientists' undoing. Once they attempted an online connection to mine cryptocurrency, an alarm was sent to the facility's security department, which in turn contacted the FSB, Federal Security Service.
Yeah, if that's like if that's like the KGB supercomputer, yeah, you probably can't use that to mine crypto.
To mine your fucking Dogecoin. To mine your vape coin. God damn it, that's so fucking great. Yeah, touching a little bit on the market plummeting.
Yeah, okay, so it's it's a completely nuclear facility where they made their first nuclear bomb. It's probably running on like new nukes or something.
Definitely not supposed to be mining Litecoin on it. So if we look at the markets right now, everything's kind of seemed to like stabilize a little bit, which is not good. You don't want them to be stabilizing right now after such a crash. What that means is there's a lot of resistance at certain price points, which means they're probably going to start to fall a little bit. And that's where there's a lot of speculation on a lot of altcoins crashing and that kind of bringing everything down. I talked about this, I think 3 weeks ago on my Snapchat, where I think the safest bet is to just hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's where you're going to invest. If you want long-term investments, it's those two. If you're going to gamble and you're going to play a lot of these altcoins, it's a big gamble. There's a lot of risk involved, especially now because it's just a crazy time in crypto. And then like you have a lot of analysts saying one thing, you have futures and another thing. So it's very volatile. I would really just hold Ethereum. I'm long on Ethereum. I have Bitcoin as well, but after it dipped down and I hit my sells, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy back in anytime soon. I kind of want to wait like a good 6 months before I kind of make a decision on what to do with Bitcoin. If it skyrockets and I miss out on that window, I'll be pretty upset, but you have those auto sells and buys on there for a reason. I still think Ripple at $1 is a little alarming. I kind of like gauge the market on what Ripple is doing because Ripple is kind of like the embodiment of the entire crypto binge the last few months.
Yeah,
and with
and
it
was
being
also
$1,
hard pumped by Korea.
Yeah, and with it being $1 and a lot of these big financial institutions backing it, it's a little kind of like, what's going on with the market? Are we stagnating? Are altcoins is what is causing that stagnation? Because if that is, then we're going to see a major sell-off, and then we're going to see some crashing in the altcoin department where the Bitcoins and Ethereums might be taking off. We still have no idea what's going on with scaling. No one has any nothing's being released on that. Lightning seemed to be kind of like a interesting technology that's coming together that's starting to scale a little bit, but it's not the answer. Cardano and EOS have a lot of interest behind them because they seem to be the ones who are pioneering the scaling issue the most. But you never know with Vitalik Buterin in Ethereum. The dude's he's the Einstein of crypto. So other than Satoshi. But it's interesting. Keep your eye on it. The ghost. I am Satoshi.
The man no one knows.
I mean, you think he's a real person?
Probably not.
Or do you think
it's probably a team of devs?
Or an urban legend?
I think it's just a team of devs who use the fake name.
Or
Or
maybe he's sitting in this room amongst us.
Oh yeah, Yeah, dude. Wayne Satoshi.
Doobie,
All right.
Doobie, we have outed you,
Doobie?
Doobie. You're the Satoshi.
Doobs.
Doobie, do you know who Satoshi is?
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, of course you don't. Oh, I see.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for listening to the No Life Tech Show. Make sure you follow us over at Twitch, No Life Digital, on our Twitter, No Life Digital, website, nolife.digital, and our Instagram, No Life Digital. Catch you guys next week. I'm hungry. I'm getting out of here. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.